For the purpose of this video project, I'll be investigating mobile gaming, specifically gaming involving augmented reality technology. Using the case study of Pokemon Go, I'll be mainly looking at how AR mobile gaming can impact our experience of space and place. I also intend to look at how Pokemon Go earns its revenue through the gamification of place and the collection of geospatial data. Firstly, what is augmented reality? Augmented reality is a technology that superimposes a computer-generated image onto a user's view of the real world, providing a composite view. Thus, it involves the overlaying of digital, visual and auditory elements onto the real world through the use of technology, usually smartphones. In mobile AR games, location-based services are frequently integrated into the technology so that the player's location can be determined. This enables a player to see the AR elements in real time as they move through an environment. Now that AR gaming is clearer, I will focus on the case study of Pokemon Go. On screen now are clips from the first trailer released for the game, showing off its basic features. As can be seen through the video, the game centers around a real-world map, created using the Google Maps API. It also focuses on mobility, as to play one needs to explore in order to find and catch Pokemon. Within the game, it is these Pokemon that are digitally overlaid onto the surrounding environment. Players are also encouraged to visit Pokestops, where they can collect in-game resources, and meet up with other players at gyms, where they can battle one another using their collected Pokemon. Pokemon Go is a free-to-play game, and upon its release in July 2016, it immediately became a global phenomenon, earning 50 million downloads on iOS and Android in the first 19 days of its release, setting the record for the fastest game to hit this milestone. Like most mobile games, part of the way it earns revenue is through in-app purchases. However, this is also achieved through the collection and sharing of data. Using location-based services, which can even be active when one is not playing the game, developers Niantic collect unique and valuable geospatial data that they can share with third parties. They can also use it to predict your buying habits and tailor digital advertising through geo-targeting, a process by which different adverts are shown to you based on your location. Another unique way the game earns revenue is through the in-game gyms that players can visit to battle against one another. Niantic has partnered with multiple companies, such as McDonald's and Starbucks, to place these gyms at the location of their stores, in turn encouraging players to visit these locations. Using a cost-per-visit model, Niantic receive up to 50 cents for every unique visit to one of these sponsored locations by a player. In a 2017 interview, former Niantic CEO Matthew DeFayette said that this tactic has driven nearly 500 million people around the world to these sponsored locations. That was in 2017. So one can only imagine that this number is much greater now. This highlights how AR gaming can alter and even regulate one's experience of space. Staying with these gyms and Pokestops, within the game, players can purchase what are known as lures, using a currency that can either be earned through playing or bought through in-app purchases. At Pokestops, players can set these lures in order to attract more Pokemon to the location. These are active for all players, meaning anyone playing Pokemon Go in the surrounding area could visit the Pokestop and reap the benefits of the lure, thus encouraging all local players to visit the location. Frisk's 2017 work has shown how the owners of local businesses have intentionally bought and used lures on Pokestops located near their business in order to increase the Pokemon numbers in the area, in turn increasing footfall and likely sales for the business. This highlights how Pokemon Go can alter one's mobility and experience in space and place. Importantly, this also shows how it can alter the experience of place and space for non-players, as the presence of Pokestops and gyms could lead to overcrowding at certain locations. All of these examples highlight what is known as the gamification of place. This involves incorporating elements of gamefulness or playfulness into an experience in order to fulfill a certain intention. By having Pokemon, gyms, and Pokestops scattered around the landscape and accessible through the in-game map, Pokemon Go can be seen to anchor these gameful experiences to specific locations in the real world. Thus, AR gaming enables players to experience space and place in a playful way. In many ways, the gamification of place seen within Pokemon Go is an example of gamification for data. Bergzoff and Mandrick point out that the traditional ways of collecting data on human behaviour are often time-consuming, costly, and subject to limited participant pools. They go on to argue that gamification can solve these problems by providing the motivation to take part. In many ways, Pokemon Go is evidence of this. By employing a freemium business model, a strategy in which users play for free but can pay for premium features, and by encouraging participation through in-game rewards, Niantic have been able to develop a very large user base and thus participant pool from which they can gather data. In other words, with so many people playing the game, Pokemon Go is able to crowdsource to gather its data. This involves the outsourcing of a task or function to a large network of people. Thus, With such a big fan base, Pokemon Go is a large source of valuable, monetizable data. In this way, it can be seen as a great example of gamification for data, or the gamification of place for data. To finish, AR technology in Pokemon Go highlights the Souza Silva's notion of hybrid spaces, showing how the use of mobile technologies as connection interfaces blurs the traditional borders between physical and digital spaces, creating this hybrid reality. The use of laws by local businesses is an example of how the digital can impact the physical world, in this case by increasing footfall of the business, emphasizing the merging of the physical and digital. Silva states that hybrid spaces arise when virtual communities, previously enacted in what was conceptualized as cyberspace, migrate to physical spaces because of the use of mobile technologies as interfaces. This can be seen through the evolution of the Pokemon franchise itself, as the franchise and the dedicated community of players it has alongside it have migrated through different playful Pokemon experiences in a variety of spaces over the years. For example, they have moved from playing Pokemon games in cyberspace through mediums such as computers and game consoles to now playing games in hybrid spaces through the medium of AR technology. This all highlights how AR gaming can fundamentally change the nature of space as well as one's experience in space. To conclude, in this video project I have shown how AR gaming, through the merging of physical and digital worlds, can create hybrid spaces. I have also discussed how AR gaming can lead to the gamification of place for data, and how by influencing people's mobility and what they do, can greatly shape the experience both players and non-players have in space and place. Here are the references I used for this project. Thank you for listening.